That sucks. That sucks.
Still like a week back to marriage.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm like, maybe not. Maybe I'll just say it fell off.
Just to attach it to somebody that's really calm.
Yeah, just be like, you guys got an update.
It's like one of those punch-it machines where you hit it so hard it just goes through the roof. All right, so we are on this Amber Lager Brewday here, this beautiful winter morning at Cartridge Brewing in Mainville, Ohio. We've mashed in on Airborne Vienna Lager, and I'm going to prepare the acid and salts for the sparge. We're going to start the recirc here shortly, the lauter. I'm sorry, not the lauter, the Vorloff. And yeah, I'm going to get my salts and acids measured up. So I'll be in and out of screen here as I get these things. But again, the point of all this work that I'm doing with the salt and acid is that I want to make sure that my pH of the mash is correct and that I have enough calcium, sulfate, and chloride in the mash. Right now I'm measuring out the food grade phosphoric acid that we use, and then I'm going to be measuring up the salt. And then I will show you the yeast that we use for our lagers. We have a fresh pitch today. The last pitch that we used, the last pitch of lager yeast that we had, we probably got about 10 batches of beer out of that just by fermenting with it, harvesting it, and adding it to another beer. We are on to a new pitch now. I'm a very big fan of Imperial yeast. They have killer customer service. Shout out to Nina. They've always helped us out in a pinch. We love the product. We use their harvest strain for our lagers. 45 grams of gypsum. Morning, Adam. 255 grams of calcium chloride. Just as a heads up, if you're playing with calcium chloride at home in your brewery, when it gets hydrated, it generates heat. I have been burnt with it in the past by foolishly mixing it with hot water too close to my hand. So don't do that to yourself. 255 grams of calcium chloride. Now, water chemistry is not something that I am an expert on. I have a very, I would just say, functional knowledge. There's a lot of people that understand from a chemistry standpoint what's going on better than I do, but I kind of break it down into layman's terms. I don't know if you can see this, but it kind of looks like little snowballs. Functionally, what I do with this is I run a water program called Brewing Water, which is great. I would recommend you check it out. You need to have a full-on water report for your base water. I've used Ward Labs for that in the past, which are very helpful. And you input all your numbers, and then it tells you the amount of acid you need to use and various things like that as far as calcium, different elements that you want to be adding to your beer. The levers that I pull with this are making sure that my pH is appropriate at all times. I try to make sure I have the appropriate amount of calcium for the beer that I'm making, chloride, and sulfate. You can kind of dial those things up and down to kind of do some fine point manipulations on your beer. I personally think the largest issue is pH and calcium. So anyways, that's what I have going on there. We are about to start recirculating the mash, so come on with me. So I have my mash here of our Amber Lager Airborne that we're going to start recirculating. How this process works is we're going to be dropping the wort down through the mash screen, down through the mash plates, through this sight glass into the grant here, which is a secondary holding vessel for the wort. We're then going to pump off of this back up to the top of the mash bed and recirculate that until that wort runs free of grain. I like to start this off a little bit on the slow side. This is a fine touch valve that we have here. A lot of these butterfly valves, they're either kind of on or off with some fine adjustment. But with this, you have to rotate quite a bit in order to make it move. You're going to see some wort kind of flow through here a little bit. It's going to be real grainy. And then as we go, it's going to start filling up the grant here. Sometimes I give it a quick hit like that and then slow it back down. The idea being if I open up that valve a little bit, I can create some suction and pull any grain that's around the ports underneath the mash screen here and suck that grain in so I can get it recirculated back up to the top. I do like this process to be gentle though. If I pull a whole bunch of pressure on that grain bed, it can compact it and then make it difficult for me to extract that wort and rinse hot water through it to continue to get sugar into the kettle. You can see the grant is filling up. You're gonna see this color kind of change as we go. You're gonna see that roast malt kind of get distributed throughout. I have some lines on here that tell me where I wanna be speed-wise with this. Then I'm going to jump up over here and I wait for the grant to fill all the way up. And then I'm gonna start pumping it back up through this louder Vorloff line here, returning it to the top of the mash. All right, here we go. This is driven by the pump, by the mash pump. I'm gonna click that on, let that run for a couple seconds, a little bit faster, and then dial it down. And then I'm gonna go up. This is one of the visual processes that I have to manipulate a little bit. The speed of this happens just with a 1 through 10 dial. And so it's not super exact. And then I'll bring you up here and show you. That's fine. All right, I'm gonna bring you up top and show you what we're looking at here. This is what we're looking at. And then it's dropping down, returning that grain to the mash. I'm sorry, returning that wort to the mash. I'm gonna let that go for 25 minutes. We're gonna see that this grant is going to have less grain in it as we go. This sight glass is gonna continue to clarify. And yeah, after 25 minutes, we will check our sugar conversion on this and get ready to start moving it to the kettle. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you feel as if you got any value out of the video, please like and subscribe. There are also other videos that you can watch. They're gonna maybe be over here or over here. Appreciate you watching.